Put your hands up in the air and shake them like you just don't care. To the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the left. Now shake your shoulders up and down. Shake your shoulders round and round. Up and down. Come on. Up and down and round and round. Now bounce your body. Bounce your body. Make sure you don't hurt nobody. Bounce it. Bounce it. Bounce it. Deep breath. Blow it out. Deep breath. Blow it out. Good, you ought to stay awake while I'm here. My baby is American made, born and bred in the USA. From his kinky short hair to his sexy long thighs, my baby is American made. And I almost missed out on the opportunity to have this man in my life. I graduated from college. Alabama State University, HBCU. Mama says, what you gonna do? I said, I have no idea. I thought you'd get a job and go to work. Well, I played all summer. I was like that ant in the grasshopper deal. And when the job came around and I was supposed to go to work, I didn't have one. But lucky for me, I had filled out paperwork to get a scholarship to Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana. Any Hoosiers in the house? What? You don't know a Hoosier? I didn't know what it was either. My mother bought that Greyhound bus, $35 one way to Bloomington, Indiana. I knew with her one-way ticket, I wasn't coming back home without a master's degree. But on the very first day when I got off of that Greyhound bus, I got in the taxi and I said, take me to Indiana University. And he did. I said, well, where does the campus start? He says, it was about 10 blocks back that way. I said, good Lord, everything in this town is bigger than everything in my town. From Tuskegee, Alabama, we didn't have any buildings above the second floor. My dormitory was Eigerman Hall, 12 stories. I got out of the taxi, I looked up at that dormitory, and I said, whoa. And it was about that time this real good-looking man stepped out of the door. He had a great smile and real short hair. He was the African-American Adonis that I always thought I should have in my life. And he says, hi. And I said, hey, yourself. He says, how may I help you? I said, you look strong enough to take this trunk up to my room. He says, I can do that. And he did. That was the very first day. On the last day, we got married. MSMRS within a year, and you can do it too. Now, he didn't know he was getting such a crazy woman in his life. My baby is as straight-laced and diplomatic as I am wild and ridiculously wonderful. It's amazing how two people like this can get together. My girlfriend says, you guys been married 42 years? I didn't think you were going to make 42 days. It's amazing what love does. It makes your heart go pitter-pat. I write this man's songs. I'll take you there before you know exactly where you want to go. I'll take you there and make you love it too. It's amazing when your partner is as into you as you are into your partner. It makes the world a most wonderful place. You have the opportunity to share it with the little people you bring into this world. Now, our first son, J.C. Mike, the child that does not call his mama, was an interesting situation in taking care of other little people. Like you said, I had no idea what to do with this child. That's why I called my mom and I said, you are coming when I have this baby, right? She says, yes, darling, I'll be there. See, I figured we have a baby in the spring so I'll know what to do by the time fall came, he wouldn't die off in the wintertime. I remember taking him when he was about 3 months old because I was big into tennis. I took him when he was about 3 months old, and I took the little rocker thing, and I thought I was going to be able to play a set of tennis. It didn't take me long to realize I had lost my mind. You cannot do things like that when you have a little fella in your life. But the wonderful part about it is when his daddy came home and he said, take a break. And I don't care what he said after that because I didn't hear it because I was gone. Women who said, I can't leave the baby with my husband because he doesn't know what to do. I don't care what he does. I figure he loved that child as much as I love that child. What is he going to do? So what if that diaper falls off and drags around his ankles? You don't know. And I tell young mothers, let the husband have that child. My brother was the best father I ever saw. He was Mutt and Jeff. He was Mutt, the baby was Jeff. They came to see me on the train. He had the big, what's that big green sack that you put army stuff in? The duffel bag on one shoulder and the baby on the other. And he was walking through the train station, and I said, well, here they come. It's amazing. Children bring us together like no other way. And then you hide out from them so you can have some time by yourself. It's a wonderful feeling to have children. It's a wonderful feeling to have a loved one. If you don't love somebody, love yourself. Women are strong, it's true, with so many things to do. From taking care of the house, come on, the job, the kids, and the spouse, you can snap. You need to take some quiet time. It doesn't have to cost a dime. You can go for an evening stroll, and it's good for you, young or old, and you will do it when you love yourself. When you love yourself, before you can love anybody else, you've got to learn to love yourself. Now you are a divine original. Nothing about you is crazy or dull. You've been given everything you need. Just keep it in your mind that you're put here to succeed. Shout it to the crowd, shout it out loud. You know how to love yourself. Come on, you have to love yourself. You guys kind of slow. You gotta love yourself. Pick it up. Before you can love anybody else, you got to learn to love yourself. Your turn. You have to love yourself. Good job. You have to love yourself. Last time. Before you can love anybody else, you've got to learn to love yourself. I am as exciting as you can get for a husband like mine. He comes home and does not know what to expect. I have changed the furniture. I have ironed all the clothes. I have the tub full of little fish. He says, what are you doing? I said, they needed a bath. But I also have the opportunity to have the most wonderful life there is. I always wanted to travel as a young child. I said to my mother, I'm leaving Tuskegee, Alabama. She says, go. And I always wanted to see the world. She says, go. Mama never said you couldn't do anything. She's the kind of woman that says anything you can put your mind to, do it. Somebody else has done it, so just follow the recipe that got them where they are. I said, well, that makes perfect sense. So when I decided I was going to Indiana University on that one-way ticket and I got to Indiana, I realized when my lovey asked me, what kind of man do you want in your life? Because he was thinking about asking me to marry him. I said, don't ask. He says, why? I said, because I'm going to say no. He says, why? I said, because I'm going to be married with children and you're not going to let me do what I want to do and I'm going to leave you. He says, baby, I will give you all the freedom you need to do whatever it is you want to do. And he says, besides, marry me and I'll show you the world. So 17 moves and 14 states later, we're still seeing the world. But the wonderful part about that is my job. I am the artist and he is the corporate America person, so even when I don't work, I can eat. And because I do so much fun stuff, I literally give him all of the information. I share my world with him. So vicariously, he does what I do. So as a result of my 6 CDs and my book and the television show and all of that, he'll say, well, you know, we are doing really well. I said, we, baby? He says, you know, you, me, us. I said, this man is crazier than I am. But the other part is we have the most wonderful get-togethers because when I go on trips, I get to go all over the state of North Carolina and the country, and somebody else pays for it. My granny says, they pay you to run your mouth. I said, yes, ma'am. She says, now, ain't that something? So on one particular trip, we went to the mountains of North Carolina. Anybody been to Silver? Beautiful little town, right? I said, come find me off of 40 because I'm not making any of these turns. It's beautiful up there. But they invited me to be the keynote speaker for one of their early education programs. And I was delighted because they wanted me to talk about nutrition. Well, I got a master's degree in health, physical education, and play. I was a happy woman. So, nutrition. Too much sugar, salt, and fat, you can't get healthy eating like that. You want your body long and lean. Try a cup of something green, red, yellow, purple, blue. Now, it's all tasty and is good for you. If it comes in a bag or comes in a sack, the chances are it's not the best snack. And if you want to lose that gut, you got to get up and move your body. Healthy food builds a healthy body builds a healthy mind builds a healthy heart that will last for the rest of your life. Repeat, healthy food, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy heart that will last for the rest of your life. And they loved it. They gave me a big cheer. They thought I was fantastic. They talked about all the good food that grew in North Carolina and all of its goodness. And they were happy, and I was happy. And I threw myself in the car, and my baby got in the front seat, and he says, let's go. Zooming down 40, enjoying the beautiful sights, the gorges, the trees, the lush vegetation, until I saw a sign that said Folk Art Center. I never go straight home from a show. I take all the detours. I know where all the outlet malls are, all the Goodwill stores. And so this was new. I said, make that turn, baby. I've not been to the Folk Art Center. At the Folk Art Center, I strutted up the steps and was amazed at the beautiful workmanship. The craftsmanship was absolutely beautiful. There were quilts on the walls that cost $25,000. Whoa. There were hand-tooled belts of leather and silver spoons. There were carved cups and spoons and forks, silk scarves, and all kinds of artwork made from metal and fabric, and I was in awe. But what grabbed my mind were some wooden hats I saw on the other side. I love hats. I love hats. I will give up a meal if I can get a hat. I was so awed by hats. See, hats for me is like sunshine to the flower. Hat gives you attitude. You can get sassy with a hat. I got hats that look like accordions. Where are you going to wear that hat? Anywhere you want to wear a hat. I've got holy hats. Where did you find that hat? It seems like these hats jump out and find me. That hat somebody else does not want, that's obviously the one for me. And they wait until I get there and I buy them. If I'm being real smooth, I've got a smooth wearing hat. I actually get a different conversation when I wear this hat. It makes me go back to the 1930s and days of Billie Holiday when I wear a hat like this. And there's nothing like Sunday morning in a hat like this. In a hat like this. It must be Sunday morning in a hat like this. In a hat like this. Yes, it's Sunday. Unless it's one of those go to heaven hats. I can't help myself. I got a hat when I was about 15 or 16, and my brother, I think, gave it to me. Or was it somebody down the street that crocheted me a hat? I don't know, but I had a hat. And Mama wore hats on Sunday, and so, of course, I just naturally fell in love with hats. But at the Folk Art Center, it was a wooden hat. Have you ever seen a hat made out of walnut, maple, hickory, redwood? I was in love. I picked up this beautiful hat, 16 ounces. I'm looking at the craftsmanship. The wood grain is so smooth. I said, baby. I said, Lovey, come here, darling. I said, I need this hat. He says, baby, you need to pay your house note. I said, baby, I'll live in a hole if I can have this hat. He said, no, baby, that's not in our budget. I said, 16 ounces. It had 55 holes in it from the worms. It was light as a loaf of bread. I said, baby, I really need this hat. He says, baby, didn't I tell you your son went to college and made it a career? I said, we pull him out a semester, I could have this hat. We rolled all the way home. And all I'm thinking about is this wooden hat. The man's name is Chris Ramsey out of Somerset, Kentucky. When I got home, I Googled him. I found out he makes top hats, baseball hats, sun hats, derbies. I was in love. I fired off an email, Dear Chris Ramsey, I love your hats. And he wrote back, thank you. He doesn't understand how much I am in love with these hats. Man, I need a hat. Can I make a statement in a hat like that? Whole year goes by. I'm talking about these hats. I get another invitation. I'm back in Silver. This time they wanted me to talk about, let's see, I did nutrition the first time. Second time it was about safety in the sun and sunscreen. So I wrote, sunscreen, sunscreen. We all need sunscreen. Now some is thick and some is thin. Pour it in your hands and rub it in. Put some sunscreen on your face. Rub it all over the place. Put some sunscreen on your back. Or be like a turtle and crack. Ooh. They thought it was great. We talk about the necessity of drinking water and being hydrated and making sure you get your toes and your nose and the whole 9 yards. They promised they were going to continue to eat better and make sure they use sunscreen and drink lots of water. They love me. I love them. And my baby packed up my gear. He sold about $1,500 worth of CDs that day. I said, baby, we need to go by the Folk Art Center. Zooming down the highway, he made that turn. He walked up the steps. I walked up the steps. I said, there it is. He says, baby, you know your car note due. I said, baby, you always got excuses as to why I can't have this hat. He says, baby, you've got 25, 50, 75 hats. I said, 125, but who's counting? He says, baby, really? I said, baby, this hat is calling my name. He says, baby, that hat's got the wrong number. Zooming down the highway, doggone it, I'm thinking about those hats. They were gorgeous. You have to see them. I mean, walnut, ambrosia, hickory, the craftsmanship, smooth, finely sand, 16 coats of stain. I'm sure it'll protect me from the rain. I get home and I call up Chris Ramsey on my computer. Dear Chris Ramsey, I saw your hats again today and I am in love with them. I'm going to have one for my birthday. And he said, thank you. What is wrong with this man? He doesn't understand how his craftsmanship has grabbed my heart. I am in love. The third year, I did not get a call from Silver. Well, 2 years in a row is pretty good. But they had a cancellation, and I was available, and my lovey was not. So I drove myself to Silver, and we had the most wonderful time. This time I was talking about something related to literacy and the importance of reading to your children 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes a day. Your turn. 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes a day. And then I wrote the poem, of course, because you have to have something to go along with it. Readers are leaders, and leaders are smart. Readers are leaders. It begins in your heart. Go around the world and back again and never leave your seats. Go around the world and back again and never move your feet. Because readers are leaders, and leaders are smart. Readers are leaders. It begins in your heart. This is where you clap for me. They loved it. I loved it. They thought I was great. They thanked me for filling in, and I had a great time. And as I was zooming down the highway, the phone rang right before I got to the Folk Arts Center. Hello, Lovey. Hello, darling. How did it go? I said, it went very well. They were very receptive. We had a good time. Sold a few CDs. He says, and you're near that place where they've got the wooden hats? I said, yes, I am. He says, you know it's not in the budget. And I said, I know it's not. Well, enjoy yourself. Shall do. I hung up the phone, turned into the Folk Arts Center, and flew up the steps. I passed by the quilts. I passed by the belts. I passed by the silk. I passed by the tin. I passed by the boxes and headed straight to the wooden hats. And they were waiting on me. Beautiful, handmade, custom tailored, good looking, light as a feather, 16 ounces. I put that cowboy hat on my head and I checked myself out in the mirror. And the clerk said, that hat looks very nice on you. I said, yeah, I know. She says, you know, sometimes you have to do things for yourself. And I said, yeah, I know. She says, now exactly what do you want me to do? Out in the car, I had left a little wooden box full of money. I've been saving for that hat ever since I saw it for the very first time. Because my mama told me there's more than one way to slap a cat. I had left it in the glove compartment because I knew I was going to come to my senses and not spend this money on this hat. But I didn't come to my senses. I said, wrap that baby up. I flew out to the car. I got the box full of money. I came back in and I counted everything out. When I left there, I had a smile on my face like a Cheshire cat. I'm stroking my hat as I'm zooming down the highway, and the phone rings. Hello, Lovey. Hello, darling. Did you see your hat? I said, yes, I did. He says, they're fairly expensive, aren't they? I said, yes, they are. He said, about $300? I said, no, darling. They are $655.27. And the phone went dead. When my baby came back on the phone, he says, and how did you pay for it? I said, I used cash. He said, had you used a card, we could have gotten points. I'm thinking if I had used a card, I would have to find myself another home. I love my hat. I love my hat. It's just as simple as that. I love my wooden hat. 16 coats of stain to protect it from the rain. It's a fine-tuned hat to keep the sun off my back. A custom-made job that fits just right. I don't have a problem 'cause my hat's not too tight. I love this hat. I love this hat. It's just as simple as that. I love this wooden hat. Now wearing my hat is so much fun. I wear it in the rain, I wear it in the sun. Everybody wants to touch my hat, but I'm not gonna stand for that. Chris Ramsey has a hobby of turning wood. He made his wife a bowl and it looked so good. He thought of make a few and just like that, that bowl was the start of a wooden hat. I love this hat. I love this hat. It's just as simple as that. I love my wooden hat.